the main Western chess and all the variants based on it, but then we have the 3 Asian regional variants. There's remixes where you can make your own games. There's ancient chess where you learn about the history of chess. And there's also the history of shogi. There's regular checkers. There's tic-tac-toe. Like, there's literally every chess type of game that could ever exist is all in one program here. And it has a choice of languages. You can change how the app looks. Like, there's a lot of options here. Let's see, how can I change things to my liking? Let's see here. Hey, I like that look. That's pretty cool. There's brightness. Let's see. There's brightness, there's dark, and then there's light. I wonder which looks cooler. I'm going to go with the dark theme because that was kind of the way it was already. There is use images, and then there's different types of things here. You can do letters. Oh, this is cool. See, it lets you choose to have letters instead of traditional looking pieces for the different chess pieces. That's actually really cool. But I think what I'll do is I will go with using the default images that it shows. Okay, oh, I didn't save my settings. I don't know how to use this very well, but I'm just going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to play a regular game of just plain old chess. Chess, a 2-player war simulation abstract strategy game, one of the world's most popular games, played by millions of people worldwide. That sounds a very accurate description of chess. So let's set the artificial intelligence to the highest setting and see if I can beat it. I'm playing as white, it appears. So, wait. Oh, wait, or am I? Yeah, what's happening? How do I start the game? Okay, what is happening? Okay, I'm trying to. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how this works here. Player 1. Okay, there we go. I don't know why it wasn't working before, but I'm playing as white. I start with queen's pawn. Okay, and I'm going to go with the London system, which I learned from Levy, the chess teacher. It's actually a pretty cool way to go about things. Okay, I see how it is. So now we have this option here. I'm going to capture that pawn. That's not too bad of a deal. And then, okay, that's interesting. So now that pawn is attacking my bishop. Let's retreat the bishop slightly. Okay. That bishop is attacking that pawn there. So let's see here how this goes. Oh, that's a little interesting there. I will capture this pawn. Oh, let's see how this goes. I don't want this bishop to get taken. Let's move this bishop right back to there. That's what we'll do. I'm going to move that pawn forward. And then that pawn captured that pawn, which means I can do a queen trade. I'm going to capture their queen, but then they take my queen. All right. That works absolutely fine. Then I'm going to start by bringing this knight out here. Okay. Yeah, okay. Let's see here how this works. So it's a standard chess game so far. This is just regular chess. But what can I do here? What can I do? Because I could probably win this game, I think. I'm going to castle here. That seems like a good idea. Oh, I see how this is. I'm gonna get this rook out of harm's way there. Then we're gonna put the king in check there. And we're gonna capture that rook there. How interesting. They took the opportunity to capture my rook as well. But that's totally fine. Okay. What can I do here? I'm going to attack that bishop right there. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. They captured my knight, and then I can capture their bishop. They can capture my bishop, but if they do, I will take their knight. Okay, that works. So now it is a bishop and a rook versus a knight and a rook. There we go. I'm going to capture that pawn. Then that bishop captured my knight, but now my knight puts the king in check. And then wait, what have I done? Oh, I did not mean to do that. I did not mean to do that. Can I go back? Obviously, I didn't mean to do that. Can I go back and move? Oops. Wait, is there a way to... Oh, okay, so it's... Wait, okay, that's where we were. See, obviously, I meant to capture the rook. Is there any way to just go back a single move? Oh, yes, there is. You can go back moves. Perfect. So this game lets you play chess, but you can also, when you mess up, you can go back moves because you're playing against the computer. That's good. So now I have to figure out a way to gain the advantage here. I have 4 pawns, and they only have 3, which is making this quite interesting. Because if one of my pawns gets to the other side, it becomes a queen. I'm going to stop those pawns from advancing by moving my pawns a little bit. Oh, I see. That's how it is, huh? Sure, let's trade the pawns. So now there's 2 pawns there, and that king doesn't really have a good way of getting around there, which means that my king is free to come over here, and it can try to take down these 2 pawns that are over here. Yeah, see, now I got the advantage. So now I'm taking down all the opponent's pawns, and their king is trying to come over there. But you see what's happening here now is that even if that king can take down this pawn over here becomes a queen. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. So let's get a queen here. And technically, once you have a queen, all you need is your king and queen to make checkmate possible. I don't even need to get 2 queens. So I'm going to show you how I checkmate with just a king and a queen. We're going to put the king in check. We're going to chase it away. We're going to slowly come in closer so that the king can't escape. There we go. Player 1 wins. And it has a rematch feature, but it has a review game feature. Let's look at the review game feature, and let's see what it does here. Oh, so you can go all the way to the end. You can go all the way to the beginning. Let's see here. Very interesting. So you can go one move at a time and see what moves that were made. I don't know what that bar graph up there means. I guess it means which side is winning more than another. It's hard to know exactly what it means. But I'll X out of that. So I beat the AI in chess at the highest difficulty. But now let's try something else. Let's try one of the remixes. Let's select Crazyhouse chess. Crazyhouse chess is a lot more fun because you get to drop pieces on the board that you already captured. So that's what makes Crazyhouse chess a lot more fun. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play a game of Crazyhouse chess, and it's my favorite of the Western chess variants. We're going to set the AI to the strongest difficulty again, because I don't want it to be too easy. And I guess for whatever reason that lets me start with white. There's probably a way to change that, but that's totally fine. Now remember, this is Crazyhouse, so things are going to get crazy. That's kind of the idea. I'm going to be building the setup of similar to the London system here, with the pyramid of pawns. And the thing is, when I first was playing Crazyhouse, I was trying to do the Queen's Gambit, but then I realized it's actually not that good of an idea to do it, because then you're letting your opponent have a pawn that they can then use against you. They can use your own pawn against you in Crazyhouse, so it makes it a lot more difficult. So instead, I'm just going to go with the London system, and I'm going to build up a defense, making it hard for my opponent to attack me. See, this way, they can't actually put my king in check. So it makes it much more fun, in a way. Let's see here. I'm going to start getting the knights in position. And kind of the goal of the London system, and the reason the London system is so good, is partly because it lets you get all of your pieces out of the way at the back rank so that your king has the option of castling in more than one way. See, the king here already has the option to castle this way. But then, once the queen moves, the king will also have the option to castle the other way. So it's going to get very interesting here now. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to move my queen right here, giving my king an option to castle if it needs to avoid an attack. But it's not good to castle until you know for sure which direction you want to castle. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to capture that pawn. And if the rook takes my bishop, then I can capture it back. But instead it did not. Instead it tried to move the knight so that I wouldn't capture the knight. That means I gained a pawn, but I haven't lost anything yet, which actually is super cool. Because what that means is I can then use this pawn to gain the advantage against my opponent. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move this pawn. Well, do I want to move the pawn there, or do I want to move it here? Okay, I'm going to put that extra pawn right there and attack the queen. That's what I'm going to do. It just seems like a good option. So now that knight captured my pawn, but then I gained this knight. So how do I want to do this? I can capture with this pawn, or with the bishop, or with the knight. And sometimes it's hard to choose. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go with this pawn and capture the knight. That's what I'm going to do. And now where's that queen going to go? The queen captured the knight because it didn't have any good options. So now I get to take my opponent's queen. So now I've already got my opponent's queen, and I am basically winning because now that rook, see, it shows where a piece can move. That rook captured my bishop, but now I get to capture this rook as well. So now I am destroying my opponent's most valuable pieces, and this is getting kind of funny now. So now what we have is we have a case where I can start doing some serious attacking. I think what I will do is I'm going to put this rook, this extra rook right here. I'm going to put that where the opponent's rook started the game. And then that just means I can start doing some really dangerous stuff here. I'm going to start breaking some pieces down here. So now, see, the way this works is I get to sacrifice this rook to capture the opponent's bishop, which seems like a bad trade, except I'm ahead. Then I get to come over here and capture their knight. So I'm capturing more of their pieces than they're capturing of mine at this point. Their rook goes there, but now they have zero threat to me. And part of that is because I have this queen right over here. Put the king in check. Okay. Then I'm going to put a bishop there. Yeah, I'm going to put that bishop there. Then where's the king going to go? It goes there. But then you see, I can put this knight here. Now where is the king going to go? You see, every time I put the king in check with a piece, that just gives me one more opportunity to do some dangerous plan. Put the king in check again. And then I come and I capture this. And it's slow because the AI is also trying to think what it's going to do, so it kind of delays me from making my move a little bit. But I also want to have good AI here. So now I need to figure out where I'm going to move this knight. And actually what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put this queen right here to defend the knight. So now the king can't come attack the knight. But the opponent just put that rook there. That's not too big of a deal though. I'm still way ahead in this game. So let's see here. What am I going to do now? I am going to do double check. It's checked by the knight and the queen. How is the king going to get out? Yep, it can get out of check that way. And then what's it going to do? Then you see, I put this knight right here. And is it checkmate? No, it's not checkmate, surprisingly. It's still not checkmate. But now I'm going to put this pawn there. Okay, player one wins. That's not bad. I'm going to actually let me back out. I want to play Crazyhouse again, but let's set the AI to easy. Let's set it to the weak AI, and let's see how the game goes any different. Because I won against the strongest level AI, so surely I can beat the weakest AI here. You see what I'm doing here is I'm building up the London system. Okay. Okay, and then they move right back where they were to start with, which is kind of funny if you look at it that way. So now I'm going to do something similar to what I did. I have my London system. Oop, they captured my knight. All right, my knight captures back. Then they put that knight right there. Now, why would they do that? They're trying to attack my bishop here. But that's not the biggest problem in the world, necessarily. I still have a lot of options here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move my queen here just like I did last time. Then now they capture my bishop, but then I capture their knight. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. Yep, okay, that's fine. I'm still capturing their most valuable pieces. I'm going to keep capturing their stuff. And there isn't much they can do about it right now. There we go. Let's put that right there. Put the king in check. They put their queen in the way. I capture their queen. And now I have two queens. So, yeah, let's put this queen right there. And then let's put this queen here. And their only way out of check is to put another piece in the way. But that doesn't work now because I still have two queens. One queen defends the other. And it's checkmate. I win again. The AI is not smart enough to beat me. I beat it at standard chess, and I beat it at Crazyhouse chess. Let's try something. Let's set player 1 to AI and set player 2 to human, which would mean that I would play as black. Let's see if the computer can beat me when I'm the one playing as black. Yeah, we're going to... Wait, I tried to change it. Player 1 is AI, player 2 is human. We're going to play like that. So now I'm playing as black. So what does the opponent do? Oh, they do queen's pawn. I will do my queen's pawn, and I will do the London system, but I'll be playing it from the black side instead. So let's bring out this bishop. Let's start building the defense of the pyramid here. Oh, they're trying to attack my queen, are they? Well, I mean, that's not the biggest problem in the world. Let's put the knight in the way and see what they do. Will they capture the knight? Okay, they haven't done so yet, but they very well could if they felt like it. Okay, now we're going to threaten this knight. The knight can't move because it would put the king in check. Oh, that knight decides to capture my bishop there. Let's put the king in check. Let's capture that knight. And then we'll capture the other knight. So I have both the opponent's knights. And knights are especially tricky in Crazyhouse. They capture one of my knights, but then I simply get to capture it back with either the pawn or the queen. Let's use the queen and capture that. Okay. Okay, what else can we do here? All right, I'm going to put that knight there. That pawn is threatening my knight, but I'm going to castle right now and mess up their plan. Okay, that's what they did. But I'm going to now capture this pawn. They're not able to really do much to me right now. Okay, so that's their plan, is it? All right, that's totally fine. Let's put the king in check using this bishop that I can just drop on the board. Oh, that's fun. That's real fun. See, then when I move the bishop, it puts the king in check. So the king must move. Oh, I forgot one little problem. The bishop could kill the rook. I don't know what I was thinking there, but no matter. After all, I still have quite the advantage. Let's put the king in check like that. Okay, let's put the king in check again like that. Is it checkmate? Yeah, it's checkmate. Player 2 wins. I'm player 2. I win again. And besides chess, there's a lot of different chess variants. If you look at the different rule sets, there's chess 960, there's Crazyhouse, there's atomic chess, absorption chess, elimination chess, captured leader chess. There's all these different rules of chess. But instead of doing just Western chess variants, I'm going to go to one of my favorite games, shogi. which is Japanese chess. So you can play shogi on Chess Remix. And let's do the same thing. Let's go to the strongest AI and try to beat Chess Remix AI at shogi. Let's see how this goes. So I'm playing as this player, and what I always do is I always start by moving the pawn. If you don't know how to play shogi, this may not make much sense, but this piece right here with the cross here is the rook. It's similar to chess. So there is a rook and the bishop's over here. So I like to move the pawn that's in front of the rook because it's defended by the rook. So that pawn captures my pawn because pawns capture that way in shogi. It's different than chess. Then what happens is I like to move, I like to capture that and see, this is where I choose whether or not I want to promote. So I'm going to promote my rook to a king rook, basically. And also, just want to point out that you can always check the rules of the current game you're playing. It tells you the rules. It tells you the different symbols and the names of all the different pieces. And if you're playing shogi, they may be unfamiliar to you, so you will need to check this sometimes. So these show different names than you might see in some other shogi apps, but this would be called the lance in some shogi games. This would be called the lance. Here they call it the incense chariot. I don't know why they changed the names, but they most definitely show the different pieces. And if you are ever unsure of a specific thing, like let's look at the gold general, it will show you in what ways can that piece move, which squares can that piece move to. So it's cool. So you can play shogi. So if you want to play shogi, but you also want a chess app with different variants, you can totally do Chess Remix. But here's one other thing I love is if you have a mouse with the scroll wheel, you can zoom in on a certain part of the board and you can see it very large. This is really good for screenshots. So like right here, we see that my promoted rook or dragon or rook or whatever is right here attacking the bishop. However, it's important to note that right here is the silver general. This right here is the silver general. So if I were to try to capture that bishop with my rook, I would be losing it. Plus this rook over here would attack me. So I'm going to retreat it. I'm going to retreat that rook. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this pawn right here because you can draw pieces back on the board that you've captured. And in that way, you see, shogi is like Crazyhouse chess, and that's part of why I played some Crazyhouse chess first, just so you would be able to see that. Now, that bishop is attacking me, so I'm going to capture that pawn. Okay, that's fun. So now, what am I going to do? Okay, let's move up that pawn and see what happens. Now that bishop retreated. So now what am I going to do here? I have not thought of a plan yet, but I just thought of one. Let's move this pawn out of the way so that I can get my bishop into the action. That's what I'm going to do. So now my bishop comes here and captures that pawn. And then the opponent's bishop captures my bishop. But that just means that I can put their bishop back on the board and they can put my bishop back on the board. So this game's already getting extremely interesting. So now that I have this bishop here, let's put this bishop right here and put the king in check. That's fun. Okay. And then the bishop can come and capture this knight that just jumped there. Let's promote the bishop, but then see the silver general it's going to capture that. So here's the thing is, yes, I have lost both the bishops, but I have a lot more pieces than my opponent does. And that's kind of the beautiful thing about what I'm doing here. So let's see here. Now, let me start by putting the king in check here, and then I'm going to capture that lance. After the king moves, I'm going to capture this lance, and this is going to be a lot of fun. Because my opponent is going to start by trying to put, well, they didn't put their bishops. I would kind of expect them to put the bishops they captured back on the board, but that is not what they did. That just gives me more time to capture more pawns, because I can put those pawns back on the board, although there are restrictions on what you can do with pawns, because there's a lot of them. They don't want it to make it too easy. You can't checkmate with a pawn drop. So let's see now. Now it's time to put this knight. I'm going to put this knight on the board right here to attack that gold general. Okay. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to put this silver general right there and put the king in check again, because my rook protects the silver general. And then the king had to retreat. But I can't really do any more direct attacks right now with my current setup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start getting more pieces involved in the attack here. Actually, let's go here and let's promote that knight. That's what we're going to do. Then the gold general captures the promoted knight, and then this silver general becomes a gold general when it's promoted. But that means that I got the chance to capture an actual gold general, which gives me some options. So now that I've done that, let's try putting the king in check with this rook. And what's it going to do? The king, okay, so yes, the king right there was in check. But now that that's happened, let's start getting some more pieces involved here. For example, let me put this lance right here. Then we're going to capture this pawn, and we're threatening to attack the gold general. The gold general moved. How interesting. Now the rook comes here, and it should be checkmate. I won. I won shogi. It's actually really cool. This chess app is just so cool. It has just about every kind of game, and it also has an all games list. So you can play, it has different categories. So it has different categories of shogi, has different categories of abstract. Let's see here. Oh, you get different filters. I see. This is fun. So there's all these different games. It has all these different chess games that you would just never exist if not for this app. That's what I like about Chess Remix. It's fun. Let's try. Let's try this. Let's try playing. What was that game again? Because I haven't played this before. I want to play. I can't find it. Yeah, there's all these different. There's all these different. I can't find it now, but let's try. Where is it? There it is. Chaturanga, thought to be the ancestor to all chess games, first known from the Gupta Empire in India. Okay, let's try what was the original chess from the 6th century. Okay, thought to be the ancestor to all chess games, first known from the Gupta Empire in India. So what we're going to do is let's look at the info. Let's look at the rules of how to play Chaturanga. Chaturanga. I'm not sure how you say it. And notice they have some funny looking pieces here, like the cats with the sword, and I don't know what this is. So I'm going to have to read this to know how to play. Because I've played chess and I've played shogi, but I have not played Chaturanga. Okay, so okay, promotion, specify pieces. When certain conditions are met, this piece transforms into the piece specified. Let's see here. Let's view, because we already know what the king is. The king is the same as in any chess game, pretty much. Then let's look at the rook. The rook can be used to castle. So it's like a rook like in standard chess. So the rook hasn't changed. Let's look at the knight. The knight moves in Chaturanga the exact same way as in standard chess. Okay, that's fine. The war machine. Okay, what does the war machine do? Displacement captured by moving or over to or over square occupied by a piece that can be captured. So the war machine jumps 2 squares horizontally or vertically. It can land on either an empty square or capture a piece on that square. So the war machine basically is like a rook that moves exactly 2 spaces in each of the orthogonal directions. Okay, that is funny. The war machine. I don't know if that's its real name, but I call it the war machine. What does the cat sword do? The cat sword, okay, it captures by moving. Okay, so this is like a 1 square bishop is what the cat sword is. It can capture 1 square in any of the 4 diagonal directions. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's really cool. And I don't know if it's supposed to be called the cat sword, but that's what this game calls. So we're going to call this the cat sword and this the war machine. And then there's the king again. We know what the king does. Let's see, does Chaturanga pawns work the same as in chess? Let's see here. Okay, and let's see about this here. Ah, but it shows the way that the pawn captures here in the diagram. The pawn can capture a piece 1 square diagonally forwards. Okay, we're going to just review all the pieces very quickly one more time and see if there's anything I've missed. I think I know. I think I know the rules of Chaturanga. So let's see what happens. So when you reach the final, so when you reach the final area there on the other side, then you can promote. And it seems to indicate that things promote to the cat sword, which is kind of weird. Like, I'm not sure why you want to promote, but apparently there's no queen. In Chaturanga, there is no queen, but you have a cat sword and you have a war machine. So maybe you don't need a queen. Okay, this is funny, guys. I am going to play the original chess game, Chaturanga, and let's see if I can win this. Let's set the AI to be the strongest AI, and I've never played Chaturanga before, but I'm going to play it and we're just going to see what happens, because I've played chess-like games before. So let's see here. Let's move the war machine. Totally going to move the war machine, just because it's a new piece and I don't know much about it yet. Okay, we're going to try this. All right. Let's try, Then we're going to move this knight. We're also going to move this knight. Remember, there are no bishops. There's the cat sword, which is like a 1 squared bishop, moving 1 square diagonally. But there are no regular bishops. So this is going to be interesting. So I'm going to try this. Okay. So this pawn wants to attack my war machine, and I don't like that happening. So let's move the war machine back, and we're not going to allow that to happen. We're not going to let the pawn kill my war machine. All right. Can we castle? I don't think you can castle in Chaturanga. I think that was later invented. Okay, that's fine. Let's try. Okay, we're gonna move this other war machine and just see what happens here. And we're gonna move this knight here. Never played Chaturanga before. Okay, but I know that pawn is attacking my knight. So that's not very nice. Okay, let's move the knight back. So far, this is not going well. Oh, you can't move a pawn 2 squares forward, only 1 square forward at a time. Okay, we're going to move the cat sword right here. Then we're going to move the king over here. Okay, and then we're going to move the rook over here. Let's move the cat sword right here. Then we're going to move this pawn right there. Okay, so now the cat sword will capture that pawn. The knight will most likely capture my cat sword. All right, there we go. Now I've captured the opponent's knight, which is obviously more valuable than the cat sword. The cat sword is stupid. Okay, let's start by advancing another pawn. Okay, I know better than to try capturing that pawn, or I'll just lose my rook. We can't let that happen. There we go. Ah, there's the war machine. What's it gonna do? All right. Oh, I see how this is. See, that war machine wants to attack my rook. I don't like that very much. That's not very nice. So how do I prevent that? Let's retreat the rook a little bit. Let's retreat and just make it so that it can't capture my rook, because it can go 2 squares forward. It would capture my rook if I hadn't moved it. Okay, what I'm going to do now I'm going to move the king there, and we're going to try to get that other rook into the action. This game is quite different than standard chess. Okay, now this pawn is causing me trouble, you see, because now you can tell that I can't protect my war machine and my knight. So which am I going to protect and which am I going to lose? I am going to protect my knight because it just seems more valuable based on previous experience. Okay, what we're going to do here, going to capture this pawn, and that knight will capture my knight, then I'll capture their knight back. But my rook is safe. Okay, then we're going to capture that war machine with that pawn. Alright, then we're going to capture that. I'm capturing more pieces of my opponents at this point. So let's start by, yeah, let's get more pieces involved. Okay, that war machine is pretty safe. But let's just move this war machine over here and start trying to use it for something. Yeah, we're gonna attack that cat sword. Okay, yeah, let's take down the cat sword. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Well, now we get to put this king in check. And I get to capture this other thing here, this war machine. Okay, this is funny. And the war machine can't really do much, but I can capture more pawns. And if I can find a way to take down my opponent's knights, then I have a good chance at just totally winning. So now I'm going to move this rook right there. And then that means I can put the opponent in check with my rook at the same time as moving my war machine. Okay, check again. Took down the rook. Okay. So now let's put the king in check that way. I'm going to do that. I have more pieces than my opponent at this point. Now this is where the game is going to turn funny, because this means I have a chance of getting my pawns to the other side, and I want to see what happens when my pawns get to the other side. This is going to be a lot of fun, because there are no queens, so let's see what actually happens if I succeed in getting a pawn all the way to the other side in Chaturanga. Okay, there we go. The pawn became a cat sword, which is slightly more powerful than a pawn. Let's see if we can checkmate with cat swords. It's worth a shot anyway. But that means we need to have two cat swords on totally different colored squares, because cat swords only move diagonal. Oh, I see here. We don't want anything to happen to my cat sword or my war machines. Let's defend them both with the knight. Okay, now we've got another cat sword. This is great. So now let's move the war machine out of the way. We don't even need that thing. It's not very helpful. Then we are going to put this here. Then we're gonna bring this here. We have these two cat swords, and I'm going to attempt to checkmate using these things, but I don't really know how well that's gonna work. It may not work at all. I'm gonna have to get other pieces involved, like this knight. Okay, so hey, let's capture this pawn. That'll work. All right, check. Then check. Okay, we're actually going to defend the rook with the war machine. Okay, we're getting closer now. See now, the cat swords, now the king is enclosed in this one area. The cat swords actually have the potential to do some damage here, because the king can't really move very far. I imagine without regular bishops or a queen, this type of game could go on a lot longer than one might normally expect. We're going to put the king in check. And then we're going to put the king in check right there. I think it's checkmate. Yes, I won my first ever played game of Chaturanga. As you can see, Chess Remix is actually super cool, allowing you to play every kind of chess variant and other non-chess games, of every kind.